What's good, y'all? Season 2, episode number 4. Tonight, got a dope topic that we're talking about fatherhood and family. Something that is a concern, is an ongoing battle, ongoing concern, ongoing just topic that men deal with in life, in ministry. This episode is called Dad-Prenuer. So we've got a good friend of mine, Vincent Ford, the senior minister to the Church of Christ at the Genessee Avenue congregation there in Columbus, Ohio. Also an entrepreneur himself. He's a published author. What else about Vince? Got his own podcast too. We'll jump into all that stuff, man. But we're not gonna waste no more time. Let's go ahead and hop into it. What's good, bro? What's good?
Man, what's going on? It's good to be, I guess, back on, right? This is number 2. This
Yeah,
round 2.
yeah. I think season 1, you were talking about the inception is good, kind of being in the inception of things. But it went so well last year. Definitely had to bring you back on.
Yeah, no, I'm excited to be here, bro.
Mhm.
It's good to be a part of people's creative spaces, man. I don't take that lightly. This is your brand. This is what you do. This is your podcast. You choose to bring anybody that you want on, and so I'm thankful that you brought me on, bro. It means a lot.
Most definitely, most definitely. Pause for the cause. We want to remind those of us who are viewing on with us right now. We got 5 on the stream with us now. This is a live stream. So as we know, traditional podcasts typically are pre-recorded. Because as we said in previous episodes, you kind of get to fine tune and perfect the episode. But this year we're experimenting more with live stream. So we are, if you're viewing right now, you are seeing this episode in real time. We can see your comments. Anytime something piques your interest, feel free to drop a comment in the chat. If you got a question for our guest, if you've got a question for Vince, feel free to pop that in the comment section as well. And then we've actually got a chat section for you. So when we get to this page, we'll pop it in and we'll address it. We'll address it as best as we can. You ready to hop into this, bro?
Yeah, man, let's make it happen, bro. I'm ready,
Good
man.
stuff.
I'm
Good
ready.
stuff. Good stuff. So being a father, being a husband, um, having family, having ministry, having the different things for you. I mean, there are plenty of fathers out there in the world, but for Vince, what makes fatherhood so important?
Man, um, that is a great question. And obviously, you do your research and your homework and you do all of those things, but it's still different, like answering that question in real time. I think what makes fatherhood, well, not really think, to know that you're responsible for the faith and the contribution to society that the next generation is gonna make, man. And
True.
um, I'm blessed with sons. I got 3 boys.
Mm-hmm.
So how they treat women, how they view women, how they view their blackness, how they identify as men, how they view the church, how they view their relationship with God, their faith, how they view money, how they view education. All of those things are constantly at the front of my mind. Like I'm always thinking about that, and I want to make sure that they reach their potential and that they have chances that I didn't necessarily have,
Mm-hmm.
not because they weren't available, but from a place of just not knowing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So as parents, we do the best that we can. So for my boys, I want to ensure that they know that the world is filled with opportunities, man, and
Mm-hmm.
there's nothing that you can't do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So they come to me with ideas all the time, like let's do it. You want to go to Japan and study abroad? You want to go to Africa? You can do it, man. Like the world is a big place, and I want my boys to know that. And so for me, as a father, my goal is to always teach them and teach them in ways that, to be honest with you, I just wasn't taught.
Yeah.
And so that's frightening, as people know. I got a teenager, man. Um, you know what I'm saying? He's 15, so everything that comes with that, the emotional, the physical changes. I watched that Cedric the Entertainer stand up. He's like, man, you need to go put them shoulders in the closet, and so um, he's growing. And this is a very pivotal moment in his life.
Yeah,
A lot of people make mistakes that they carry with them for the rest of their life around this age. And so I just want him to be free, but I want him to also be a kid. And I want him
yeah.
to know that,
No,
he
that's
has the
great.
opportunity to be patient with himself. So, yeah.
That's good. That's good. And there's levels to it, man. When you think about it, as men, there are dynamics and levels to it because you have some men who grew up in a two-parent household, some grew up in a single-parent household, some that were raised by their grandparents, where the generation up had to raise them. I mean, there's levels to it. The thing is, we're talking about fatherhood, but I've learned watching my parents and watching other families and talking to friends and the different family dynamics, right? There are things that a woman and a mom that she's gonna deal with that just as men we're just never gonna understand. Like even if a woman or a mother explain to us all the levels that comes with being a mother, as a man we're just not gonna understand that. But and then on the other side, like as a man, as a father, it's vice versa as well. There's some things that we deal with as men that you can't really explain, and it's one of those things like a woman understands a woman and a man understands a man. But then too, like I said, you got three boys. For me, I have a daughter, so my parenting is a little bit different because you're raising kings, I'm raising a queen, so it's different. It's different.
Yeah, it is different, but it works in tandem though,
Sure.
because the way that I raise my sons impacts the type of man, the type of boy that your daughter deals with. You
Yep.
see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't take that lightly, bro, because at the end of the day, like, you know, these young boys, man, I'm responsible for that.
Mm-hmm.
Just like and I grew up in a very interesting village. I always think about it like that. Not only
Yeah.
my mom's single parent, my dad, he remarried, but I have my stepmom, I got my sister. So it was multiple households, multiple perspectives. But I think they all played a role in the father that I am today.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
And fatherhood is really a spectrum, man. Like you have a lot of, well, I wouldn't say you have a lot of time because sometimes you don't have a lot of time.
Sure.
But thank God that, I'm 37. You know what I'm saying? I've had a father for 37 years. I've been
Mm-hmm.
a father, for, around 15 years. You see what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
uh, I'm just thankful that God has given me time and given my dad time
Sure.
to even, you know, reflect on some of the good decisions and some of the decisions that weren't so good.
Yeah. No, that's good. That's good. That's good. Let's pause. We got some comments that have popped in. One from good friend here locally in Tulsa, my good friend. John, what's good, bro? Says Kings.
What's good?
What's up,
Yeah,
fam? What's up? What's
yeah.
up? What's good? What's good?
Classmate,
Yes,
good
sir.
brother.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
It's the royalty.
Right, right.
Yeah, and
Facts.
then got my girl Kia, also a fellow
Okay.
content creator. Good to have you on. What's good, sis? What's good? What's good?
Hello,
Yeah.
hello.
Yeah. So it's great to have everybody on with us, man. That's a good perspective, man. Just looking at just because fatherhood is different for everybody, because everyone has a different context, man. Man, also looking at fatherhood, it's a passion for you. Kind of talking to you behind the scenes. When you look at fatherhood, what do you believe is one of the greatest concerns that you see for us in this particular era of time?
And to be honest, especially when it pertains to a lot of my homies, talking to a lot of them, man, it's like we don't have a blueprint. We don't have something to reflect on. It was like, like, hey, oh, my dad did it like this. By the time
Mm-hmm.
I was 15, 15, 16 years old, my dad, he was around, but he wasn't in the house every day.
Yeah.
He lived somewhere else, things like that. So there's challenges that I see my son having, right? That I'm like, I don't even know what it looks like to deal with this, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's really a situation where, man, like I'm learning on the fly, bro. Like I'm I read quite a bit. So books on fatherhood, podcasts on parenting, bro. Like even just talking with my therapist, things like that. Talking with my wife, making sure we're on the same page. The biggest thing for me is just to ensure, man, that I continuously learn and never approach, the traumatic experiences and the tragedy as well as the triumphs that my sons have,
Mm-hmm.
with this idea that I know everything.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the big key. Like I just don't want it to be a situation where I know like, oh, I got all the answers, because I don't have all the answers. And my biggest concern, I believe, is terms of fatherhood. Like in general, collectively, I'll give you the collective piece. I think the collective piece is, I, honestly, it's like we're still being punished, for uh, some of the issues that have plagued, especially black men, as it pertains to really being absent.
Mm-hmm.
Um, right? There's like an expectation in some regard.
Yeah.
But like you see the statistics all the time, like, man, this group, millennial parents, Gen Z black men, we present, we there, we holding it down, but I don't want the lack of affirmation or that cultural norm that existed for so long to discourage brothers from, you know, being the best father they could possibly be.
Sure.
Because I'm gonna be
Yeah.
honest, man, a lot of it sometimes is thankless, bro. Like it's, you be like, dang, like, sometimes you don't get the credit,
Yeah.
you feel like you need.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it's rough,
Yeah.
but you really gotta stick to it every day, man, and just know that it's gonna pay off one day, man. That light bulb gonna click for him. It's really the moments for me, for my son, like when we sitting in the car, man, we had them heart to hearts. I'll be like, yeah, I'm doing something right.
Mm-hmm.
You know
Yeah.
what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
Like when I'm like, oh, I'm doing something right. Like when he talked to me about something, where my sons confide in me, where they hug me,
Mm-hmm.
bro, or they're not afraid to be emotionally, vulnerable with me.
Sure. Yeah.
Those things, especially as a black man, especially as a black man who grew up in Texas, you know, those are the things that solidify me. Like tonight, like my son is here.
Mm-hmm.
He's here at the church with me. He could have went home with his mom, but he was like, "Nah, Dad, I'm gonna stay with you." You know what I'm saying? We may
Yeah.
not say too many words to each other. I'm working. I'm doing what I need to do. But just the fact that he was like, "Yo, I want to be around my pops," that
Yeah.
that to me is good. But from a concern perspective, I do worry about the past, but I also worry about, um, the fact that, like, there's so many brothers out here that are that are fathering, outside of the way God designed the family,
Yeah. Yeah.
um, and that concerns me a little bit. A lot of my partners, they have children, they're great fathers, but that family structure isn't
Yeah.
a consistent thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Nah, that's real. And we got some more comments, and one back from John again. He said it's a blessing to see my bros. God bless y'all and the families. Appreciate that, bro. Definitely,
Yes,
definitely need
sir.
prayers. We all do, bro. Praying for you as well, man.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Carlton, what's good, bro? What's good? Good to see you,
Thanks for your
bro.
support, Carl. We appreciate you, man. We
Yes,
really
sir.
do.
Yes, sir. No, but you made a really good point, man, talking about parenting just outside of God's dynamic and his design for the family, man. And we know in this era, man, it's a catch-22. You're gonna see, men in it, in that dynamic. You're gonna see men outside of it. But what I've learned through my own personal experiences, man, when you really follow the prototype, if you will, of what God said, the order that He set, man, things just work out a whole lot better. And I'm not saying, and you can speak to it too, that's not saying that your household isn't going to have any challenges, because it just goes with life. You're going to have some challenges, but what you'll find is that things are going to work a whole lot smoother when you kind of follow the order that kind of God has set. Growing up, for me, in my context, man, with a two-person household with a mother and a father, we had our challenges too. But man, when my mother couldn't reach me, my dad could, and vice versa. When my father couldn't reach me, my mother could reach me. And then for me, growing up as a kid, And I had friends who grew up like me, but I had a lot of friends who grew up in single parent households, and this is no shade, no knock against them, because single parents, man, you're doing the best you can. You're out here dealing, playing with the hand of cards that you're dealt. But all I know is that I knew early on that I was extremely blessed to have two perspectives.
Yeah,
You,
yeah,
you know, so
yeah. Well, too, you know, I would say we had a couple of core families, growing up.
hmm
A couple of my homies, they had two parents, in the home. But by and large, majority of my homies grew up like me. And where, there was a lack, there was a
hmm
lack essentially because the structure was missing.
yeah,
Like you said, like that piece where like your dad wasn't able to reach you, your mom was, and vice versa. You know what I'm saying? It's important to know that like when my mom wasn't able to reach us, a lot of times we just wasn't reached. You know what I'm saying? So we had we had a lot of time on our hands, brother, to
yeah,
do some foolish things, man. You know what I mean?
hmm
A lot of trial, a lot of trial and error, man. A lot of learning on the fly, things like that. But I do know from my perspective too, like as it pertains to my children, I want to be there for them. And it's crazy because you know how it's been structured in the past, bro.
yep, yep,
Even some of my homies that had two parents, there were situations where maybe their dads worked all the time and they weren't really home.
hmm
They were there physically, but they weren't there emotionally. They weren't there
right,
spiritually, right?
right,
They may have. I talked to a homie once. He was talking about like my dad taught me how to change brakes, right? He said I know how to do drywall. You know what I'm saying? I can fix a car. I can do a whole bunch of manly things. He said, but he didn't teach me anything about emotions. He
yeah,
didn't. You see what I'm saying? So for me, it's
hmm
like as it pertains to the like holistically us as men,
yeah,
like it's imperative, man, that we approach our sons and our daughters from a holistic place. Like
hmm
the way your daughter views you is going to be the way that essentially that's going to be her worldview on men in general. How
yep,
you treat her mama is how she's going to be expected. She's going to expect that,
hmm
or she's going to be triggered by the things that we do as men. When she gets into her relationship.
yep,
And I know that all too well as well. So man, we how we parent our kids, man, is it's one of the most important facets of adulthood, to be honest with you.
yeah. No, that's real. We were looking into childcare options for Kalani, and I was talking with one of the reps at one of the places we went looking, and I was talking with her because we had a unique dynamic. So the first year of baby girl's life, um, Karen stayed home with her,
Mhm.
and then the next year we traded, and then I stayed home with her, and so then it was time for us to make the next transition where we kind of looked into childcare, and that was hard. Just being transparent for me because in our family we didn't really believe in using childcare. The grandmother took care of the baby. Well, my story. My mom's not here anymore. So we were forced into a situation that we didn't plan for. So that was tough in that sense. But I was talking with the rep, and she said, to your point, she said, being a girl that you're one of the most important people in her life. Like you said, you shape her worldview on men. How I treat her, but also too just being transparent how she sees me treat her mom. What I'm saying? That's how she views relationships. And so I have to be mindful of not only my relationship with my daughter, but also having a daughter teaches me, hey, I need to be more, that much more considerate of the relationship that I present to her and what she sees with, her mom and I. So I mean, there's levels to it, man, and so it's a lot to consider. Um, just being a parent in general, let alone being a dad.
Man, bro, you said a lot. And my first thing that I'm thinking about too is like, we've been fortunate, man. Antoinette stays home with the boys.
hmm
All our boys are in school full time now, man. So, that gives us a lot more freedom during the day, things of that nature, man. And,
hmm
but it also allows us to really support our children step by step as it pertains to
Sure.
their educational journey. We can be active in PTA. We can go to
hmm
practices, go to games, things of that nature, man. And, things like that, just really, really supportive. But I'm going to be honest with you, bro. Like, You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's always interesting. I love the dynamic, man, of like, when parents are a part of worship spaces with their children, bro. And
That's
so,
good. Yeah.
being able to preach, at Virgin Street, man, and witnessing, your dad and your mom being there and being really a part of the ministry there, man, was
Mm-hmm.
really profound for me, to be able to see, and anytime when my mom in the crowd, bro, you already know what it is, bro. I'm about to go in, bro. Like it ain't even a game, bro.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
going all
Yes,
the way
sir.
in. Like she here this week, you know what I'm saying? She
Mm-hmm.
was here Sunday, so you already know what it was,
Mm-hmm.
But what I would say, man, is like I just know I can see that. I can see that passion. I can see that love, from your mother, man, and really just spending time with her and sharing space with her.
Mm-hmm.
And but I also know too, bro, like when I think about fatherhood and you being champion as a father, and and there's not really too many degrees of separation between us. You know what I'm saying? Like your
Mm-hmm.
uncle, essentially, I grew up the same church. I'm around your uncle all the time,
Yep.
and so I know your family. But I also know, man, that God always, man, He gives us what we need, bro, and being able to provide you not only with a daughter but with your wife, in this season,
Yeah.
as tough as this season is, man, I can't think but anything else. But bro, that's right on time. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
She's
Like,
definitely Karen's definitely a godsend for sure.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you think about if we think about where we were, like I think about where I was, before my grandmother passed. Like I think about, man, if I didn't have my family
I'm telling you, man.
and had to navigate losing my grandmother. Like I don't know how. It was tough enough to deal with it.
Yeah, I told
You
Karen, I said I wouldn't have made it without y'all. Like her
yeah,
and Kalani, I wouldn't have. I don't know what I would have done if I didn't have them. And my mother passed. And then 4 months before that, my Aunt Jessie. The thing is, like,
right.
it's funny. Like a lot of people don't know. Like the same weekend of my aunt's funeral, we moved Karen from Texas, from Dallas. So it was just like she immediately, like as soon as tragedy struck, she was already there with me and stuff. So yeah.
What's crazy, bro, about that? So the weekend that I brought Antoinette down to Texas, man, maybe it was
Mm-hmm.
about a month before we got married. My grandfather died.
Mm.
Yeah, my grandfather passed, man, and you know what I'm saying? Like it was a challenge for me, because here we are this weekend, and I'm excited. The woman that I'm gonna marry is coming to see me.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and I'm like, yo, we got to go to Dallas because they said my grandfather might not make it through the night.
Mm.
So her introduction to my family at large was
Yep.
tragedy,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know. But God puts the people in your life that you need, man.
He really does.
That you need.
He does, man. He does. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. We got some more comments coming in. One from your best friend, Alvin. What's up, bro?
Hey,
Yes,
my
sir.
guy,
Yes, sir. What's
my
good,
guy,
bro?
I
What's
love it.
goody?
Yes,
What's
sir.
goody? What's goody? What's goody? And then my favorite Annie, Aunt Lisa, said,
Hey,
said Vince, your mom is an excellent single Christian mom. She did great with her sons. Indeed.
yes, appreciate you, Auntie. I appreciate you.
Indeed. 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 And then the good doctor himself, Jeremy, what's good,
Hey,
bro? This is
hey,
good
look,
stuff.
my Ohio partner. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah, man. Yeah. 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 So this is dope, man. This is dope. This is dope. Man, curious, man. So with you being so ingrained in fatherhood, man, we've all heard it, especially in the black community. It's something that we always hear, and it's that phrase of mama's baby, daddy's maybe. What comes to mind when you see or hear that phrase?
You know, it's crazy, bro. So, obviously I've heard that phrase.
Mm-hmm.
Did not know, the song, Hot Sauce Stacks Records. Like I had no idea. So like, when I looked it up, man, I found, a few little things, man. But honestly, bro, like, you know, truth be told, like when you listen to the song, right? The song, there's like this refrain that says you can't miss what you can't measure.
Mm.
Um, and I think a lot of times, man, what society has done is like society has kind of pigeonholed these roles on people, these gender roles on individuals, man.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I think there's certain things that we can learn from the missteps of the people that came before us. You feel me?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so, like, to be honest with you, I mean, it's rough, bro, because we expect a mom to be resilient. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? We expect a mom to be there for her children. We expect a mom to hold it down and things like that. But to be honest, bro, the dad should be holding it down too, bro. It shouldn't be an
Sure.
option. Like,
Yeah.
fatherhood shouldn't be optional. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it spotlights just the truth, bro. Like, even though there are more fathers holding it down and doing great things, man. Like, literally, bro. Like, there's women I work with. There's women that are, very faithful and very impactful here at our congregation. There's women in my family, things of that
Mm-hmm.
nature, bro, who are literally, faced with that struggle of being single moms, man.
Right. Right.
And like, the biggest thing that somebody really explained to me, one of a friends of mine that's a single mom, she was just like, there is no tag you're in. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's on all the time. And
Yeah.
even for the single fathers out there, bro, like, I got a couple of homies that are single fathers, man, and they, have their kids all the time, 24/7. And it just serves as a reminder, just that the responsibility that we have as parents on both ends, in our actions. Because as parents, this is a direct indicator that our actions affect the next generation,
Sure. Yep.
right? So it's tough, bro. Because, like I said, those those gender roles, man, and those stigmas that society puts on us, bro. Like, you even hear it. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Yeah, I change diapers. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna tell y'all something, bro. I dare anybody to try to challenge me in this, bro. But I'm the best swaddler in the world, dog. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm the king of the swaddle, baby. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can get it tight, have in there snug. But like I said, there's just things in gender roles, and like with me and my boys, like, I'm real hands on with them, man. I'm
Mm-hmm.
real, like, we emotional, we hug, we cry, I kiss them. They're my boys, man, and I love them to death, and I really want them to see that. I don't know if you've ever watched the show Modern Family, bro, but it's one of
Mm-hmm.
my favorite shows. One
Mm-hmm.
of my favorite characters is Phil Dunphy, bro, the dad, because
Yeah.
he's like mad sensitive. He's a complete antithesis of his father-in-law. His father-in-law old school, got the young wife,
Yep.
he borderline HR, walking HR infraction everywhere he goes. You know what I'm saying? But like, bro, this idea of manhood, man, I believe that there is a more emotionally responsible side, that we need to
Yeah.
uh, expect, bro, and
Mm-hmm.
teach men how to be that. Right?
Mm-hmm.
You shouldn't just be sensitive because you got a daughter. Right now, your
Right.
boys got emotions too, man. They cry
Yep.
too.
That's
So
good.
you definitely want to be there for them as well, man. And it's a dual responsibility for both people.
Yeah. No, that's real, man. I got teased being, as a kid from my family. Actually, it was like, you're always crying, right? My dad's
Yeah,
side, very very emotional. My mother's side is too.
yeah,
The Jones Vincent side, they're emotional too, but they're a little more reserved. They kind of compartmentalize a little bit. We're emotional with each other, but not necessarily publicly. With me, my dad's side, no, they're the Smiths. They emotional, they're gonna show it. And so that kind of came out in me a lot. Being younger, um, if you follow sermons and stuff, I'll cry in a heartbeat. You know what I mean? And so, but that's a really good point on just, um, showing emotion when necessary. You know what I'm saying? Because I think we have to combat that narrative that says that men, we need to be tough, we need to be strong. And I believe we do, but at the same time, I think we need to be emotionally responsible and show our boys and our girls that, hey, daddy has emotions too, and it's okay to show them, when that time comes. Funny story, man. You talked about being a king swaddler. Not us. No, man. I don't know if it's my inability or if it's Kalani, because Kalani, we swaddled her to death. And every morning she had an arm out, she had a foot out, something. Man, we even got the Velcro joints, man. You know what I'm saying? Where you strap on, bro. She was getting out of that thing, man. Like she
yeah.
is her grandmother My late mother, because she's resilient, she's persistent. She like, nah, you ain't about to put me in no box, bro. So she's showing already.
I think, I lived in Arizona, man, and I had this nurse. I remember when Vinny was born, and she came in, man, in Arizona, bro, and she was like, "Here, this." She said, "Most people teach you how to do it this way." She said, "But this how I do it." And I was like, "Whoa!" Like, so she taught me, and I just never really forgot. And so I'm fortunate, man. I think my journey of fatherhood is a little bit different
Mm-hmm.
because it was like clockwork, bro. Like every time we had a baby, bro, I would like lose my job. I was like, I would, I would always lose my job, bro. I was like, God, what is going on, man?
Hey, he's trying
But
to
the
tell you something,
beautiful
man.
part about it was, man, it gave me opportunity to spend, like, I was there. Like, I was
Mm-hmm.
there with my children, in their early moments of life. And so I think it just helped build a greater bond,
Yeah.
because I was able to be there with them and help them and grow with them and champion them, even in a very, in their infancy. So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Good deal, man. Good deal. Got some more coming. And we talked about mom. Hey, and mom's here. You know, mama represent, baby. What's up, mom Ford? What's good? What's
Hey,
good? Yeah, yeah. So we got mama on. Alvin, shameless plug. He says I'm an emotional intelligence coach focused on males. So yeah, we definitely have to get you on, bro. I mean, I told you your time is coming. So we definitely have to explore that expertise, bro, because it's necessary. It's so many, like I said, it's levels to what we do, man. So for sure, for sure. Um, I like what Alvin said. That's a really good segue, man. He said shameless plug, man. And so one of the things that I mentioned in the intro, man, you're a fellow podcaster as well. And so you, good friend and sister Amber Baldwin, you guys co-host a podcast as well, man. And so talk to us about ABV Straight No Chaser, man. Talk to us about it.
so just kind of just give you some insight. So, like, obviously her initials are AB and mine is V,
Mm-hmm.
and just more of a play on this idea of taking it straight, man. So we talk about some really heavy topics, some topics that can be quite challenging.
Mm-hmm.
What are some toxic things that we've learned within our religious spaces? What does depression look like? What does loneliness look like? We really try to, level that out with some humor.
Yeah.
I mean, we're close, man. She's one of my best friends, and so, we know each other.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes it easier in that regard. And so we're on the second season right now. Um, the first season was a lot of like trial and error.
Yep.
But
Yep.
there were some things that position, man. Like, shout out to Mike B Films, man, the guy who records our podcast. He was able, I randomly met him, bro. Like, I met him. I
Mm.
was leaving a community meeting, man, the rec center, and I saw a dude with a camera. I said, "Hey, bro, you do like videography?" He was like, "Yeah, man." He's like, "Hear my card." So I looked at his work. His work was stellar. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
it worked out. And like you said, like, we're not live. When I was doing community conversations, I was doing that live, but we pre-record, man, and there's editing and all of those other things. I'm gonna tell
Mm-hmm.
you
Mm-hmm.
something, man. Like, even if you're doing it live or you're doing it edits, bro,
It's,
podcasting
it's
is
work. It's work.
it's work, man. It takes time. So, I, you know, the social media aspect, that's not my ministry, bro. I'm very Wu-Tang esque. I just like content, bro. I'm gonna throw it up.
Yeah.
But my co-host Amber, man, she's very, very adamant about making sure our brand looks good visually and the aesthetic behind it.
And I can sense that from
And
her too.
so, yeah, man. And so, like, she handles all of that, but as far as the logistical side of it, man, we just make a really good team. We about to start filming season 3 here pretty soon. Really looking forward to that, man. And we've gained some traction, man, been able to build organically.
Mm-hmm.
And so, man, if you have it, just check it out. Search ABV Straight No Chaser, Instagram, all the social media. We stream everywhere on all the platforms. We're on YouTube. You can check us out there as well. And I would say definitely check out the YouTube because it's you get to really peer to our personality.
Yep.
So, and you get to see how funny I actually am. So you know what I'm saying. so that's the cool thing, man. I I really enjoy it, and it kind of it came about organically. She
Mhm.
was on Community Conversations at the time. She had Sunflower Power. At the time, I had just had Community Conversations, and we decided to put this together, man, and it's been working ever since. So, just be on the lookout, man. Go catch up on those episodes. We got 14 episodes, 2 seasons, 7 episodes a season. They're not long listens. They're only about 25 to 30 minutes. So, you can listen on your way to work, listen while you're on the
Mhm.
Stairmaster or the sauna, do what you do.
That's
But
it.
yeah, man, check
Kill
us
that
out
time.
for real. Thanks for that shout out, bro. Thanks for the plug, man. I
Hey
appreciate
man,
that.
you already know in a space where there's so much competition, man, and people are territorial of the spaces, man. I believe in supporting each other. You know what I'm saying? And so it's bigger than, oh yeah, come on my show, da da da. Like, no, I'm gonna rep yours too. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm a witness. I watch their podcast. They do really good work. They're really good pair. They really put out some really good content. So definitely check them out when you get your time. Yes, sir, man. So we just about coming to the tail end of this thing, man. So lastly, wrapping this thing up, man. Any advice for just men and fathers out there, bro? Take it
Yeah,
how you may.
man, that's a great question. The best thing you could do, man, is really surrounding yourself around good fathers and good men. They may not be fathers, but surround yourself around good men. And exhaust your resources. Find some support systems. I know I felt like the pandemic was tough, but it was a blessing for me as a father.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I found out about the Dear Die Fathers community, man. That's where I found out about, a few other things and Dad Tired podcast and all these other things. Man, you got to treat fatherhood just like you do anything else, man. Like if you trying to make it to the NBA, you know what I'm saying? You got to shoot them jumpers, man. You got to cultivate your fatherhood.
Mm-hmm.
You got to read scripture, man. You got to really hone in on positivity, spend time with your children. I would say one thing that I do is I try to do one thing collectively with the boys a month, and then one thing with each one of them one on one every single
Good.
month. So that way they have their thing with their dad. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And so, that's one of the things that I do. Another thing that I will say is, man, be patient for those fathers that are married. Be patient with your spouse. Be patient with your wife. Man, she's figuring it out too as a mother, and being a mother is challenging.
Mm-hmm.
But also communicate, man. Express, express to your significant other what you need. And don't be afraid to go to therapy. I think a lot of times we look at therapy as like, man, I'm just coming here talking about my issues, but sometimes getting that out in a non-judgmental space is gonna help you.
Yeah.
Like even this conversation tonight has been therapeutic, bro. Like,
Definitely.
you know what I mean? Like being able to just talk through some things. So, like I said, man, surround yourself around good men. That's gonna help you.
Yeah.
Like I think about Alvin. I think about you. I think about, the brothers we've been rocking with our group chat, bro. It's been almost a decade, dog. Like for
That's
real.
true. I didn't even think about it, but that's true.
Yeah, it's been almost a decade since we've been in that group chat, man. So,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? Just surround yourself around people you can lean on. Even my boys up in Seattle, man. Like I'm just thankful that I have good men. And also just don't I leave with this. Man, I heard one time a gentleman say, man, you're not gonna be good at everything all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So man, there's some weeks that, man, I'm a great father, but I'm not really a good husband, man.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not the best pastor that I could have
Yeah.
been that week, you know. But there's some weeks where I done shut it down in the pulpit. Man, they clap it. It's been a great sermon. But boy, me and my wife was at odds.
Man, I'm
You know what
telling
I'm
you,
saying?
it's people just don't
It's
know. Or
they
it's
don't
vice
know.
versa. You know what I'm saying?
Or it's like
Where you're doing well at home and then the sermon sucks. You know what I'm saying?
right, 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 right. Or
Yep.
you know what I'm saying? Or you great at you great with the kids, but you're not doing really well for your own personal thing. And I will also say this, man. This is my last thing. Take care of ourselves, man.
Mm-hmm.
We gotta be here for a while for our babies.
Yep.
So take care of yourself, man. Hit
Yeah.
that gym. You might not look like Terry Crews. I don't look like Terry Crews, but you know what I'm saying, man. Get in there, man. Get active. You know what I'm saying? So you can be healthy and you can be around, man. And so That's really what I'm trying to work on, because it's easy to neglect, because we be tired working all day trying to be with the kids, man. But
Mm-hmm.
try to do something and include the kids in it too. My kids getting older, they play sports, you know what I'm saying? And I refuse. I refuse to be out here and not being able to keep up with them in some regard. So
Mm-hmm.
that's one thing I did learn from my pops, man. My dad used to work out with us, come to summer work out with us, things like that. And so, take care of yourselves.
That's good, man. That's good. Man, bro, you have blessed us, man. Blessed us, man. Yeah, like Alvin said, man, no competition, lighthouses, man. So,
Yeah, man.
um,
Hey, we ain't gotta compete.
mm-hmm,
What we competing for, bro? That's whack.
yeah, yeah.
It's enough money out there for everybody, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. Blessed us, bro. To all those who've been rocking with us the whole time. Man, pray for you being blessed by this. This is a ministry. So like it, share it, bless someone else with this conversation that my bro and I have had. We do this every Thursday, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. May not always be live, I'm gonna be honest with you. Some will be live like this. But like Vince said, hey, it's work either way. So, but next week, we'll be talking about church hurt next week with my good friend David B. Watkins III. So we'll be talking church hurt. Yeah, you don't you don't wanna miss it. So we're looking forward to next week. How can the people find you on social media before we get out here, bro?
Yeah, man. It's real simple. My first name, my last name, Vince Ford, TOO, Vince Ford 2. You can find me on Instagram that way. You can find me on Twitter in a very similar fashion. Just instead of 2, it's 86. So
Mm-hmm.
Vince Ford 86. And then Facebook, Vince Ford. But man, really just hop on YouTube, type in ABV, Straight No Chaser. Or, you can also you can check us out. Check our church out at Genessee Avenue, Church of Christ, man. You look us up on YouTube, we're there. We're on Facebook. You can check us out, Genessee, GENESSEE. Man, show us some love. Check us out, man.
Tell them about the book, baby. Tell them about the book, man. Tell them about the book.
Man, thank you, bro. I wish I had a copy with me. But it's The Leader That Society Did Not Choose. It's available Barnes & Noble online. It's also available on Amazon, man. The Leader That Society Did Not Choose. If you want a personal copy, man, just hit me up on social media. I got copies too. And so, man, like I said, man, I just want to be a voice. I want to be a voice, and I want to help some people in ways that I didn't always have the best help. So that's where I'm at. That's what I'm doing. Man, and shout out to you again, bro. I really appreciate you. You're doing great work, dog. Like, for real. Bro. You're doing really good work.
Appreciate it. That concludes. Until the next episode, we'll see you then. God bless you. God keep you. Peace.